What's up, everyone? It's Wild Runs here, and today we talk about the top 7 players on tour in 2021. So first off, this is going to be a little bit hot takey, a little bit controversial, and I say that because I really like to question things in the way that things have been in disc golf. So my rankings here are definitely, subjective. These are not empirical findings. This is just kind of like what I believe is going to happen. It's a little bit hopeful too, because the players that I have on top are players that I like a lot. So with that said, let's get into it. So number 7, I'm putting Rookie. I don't think he's going to have that great of a round or that great of a year. I think overall he's kind of peaked. I think it's pretty clear from his performances. Obviously, he had some health issues in the past season, so that's going to be definitely still going to affect him from here on. Just because if you are continuing to try to be the best player you can and you can't get enough practice in, then it's going to affect you. I think his peak is just done. So even though he's highly rated, still doing pretty well in tournaments, I think this is the year that he really breaks and becomes more of just like a mid-tier player that has really great performances at some tournaments. So I think 7 is where I see him the most. This is probably the worst take of the entire video, but I believe it, and I think it's a very possible chance to happen. Number 6, Paul MacBeth. So the reason why I have him so low is because, honestly, I think he's on a major, major downturn. I think he's getting more emotional. I think he's practicing less. I think he's doing more promo stuff for his YouTube, and he's still practicing, still doing really good. But I can just tell his grind is not on as much. He's getting a lot more competitive field around him. So I think the years of him destroying are just totally gone. It'll never happen again. And I say that because there's just 10 times more competition than when he won in 2015. It's just not even close. So I think it's very, very possible that he doesn't even break top 5. So that is to say that Worlds, he won't even get top 4. I think that's a very real possibility, and I honestly would love to see it because I have a little bit of spite. So I think number 6 is definitely on the lower end, but I could see it happening, so I'm going to put him as number 6. All right, number 5, Gerty. Now, the reason why I have him pretty far up here is because he's just continually grinded, and if you watch him year by year, he's incredibly improving, and you can just tell his focus is on point recently. His putting's on point. His drive is obviously ridiculous, and I just see him play, and I know he has the potential to be top 3. I still think he gets a little bit tilted. Doesn't always play to his best performances, but when he's on, he's really on. And I just see the open courses in 2020, and he was just destroying. So I think he has a very real chance to get top 3 in major tournaments, potentially get a win under his belt, and I think he's going to do great in 2021. All right, top 4. So this is probably going to be a little bit controversial too. I think Chris Dickerson is known to be a destroyer, and obviously he's done really good last year. So maybe top 4, or maybe put him in 4th place isn't the best spot, but I think that's where he's going to reside. Not breaking top 3 in most tournaments, but getting at least a win, maybe 2. So I think with his display last year, there's just no doubt that he's going to really show up this year. I think he's been practicing a ton. His shot is just so effortless and so straight that I just don't see him messing up that much. I do still love that clip where it was hole 18 and he went OB 3 times and really messed up his round. I love to see that emotion, but I think those rounds are gone. He's going to play a lot more concentrated rounds. He's going to play with a lot more control than he has in the past. So I think this is the year where he really breaks out, even though last year I would say he broke out quite a bit. All right, number 3, I have Eagleman. This is going to be almost like a sure thing, I believe. I think he's going to make it in top 3 most tournaments. He's not been doing the best in recent years, but I think that's just due to maybe not enough practice or something. And he says when he gets the right headspace, he does way better. And like he said, he did a bunch of meditation before the round where he won the entire tournament. So I think it's definitely a mental game for him. I don't like that it's a mental game. I think you should be pretty locked in, but that's just the way it works for him. So if he can stay strong and not get tilted in the rounds where he's going to go OB and just manage to do fine the rest of the rounds, then he's going to get top 3, and I would guess at least half the tournaments. All right, so this is potentially where it gets debatable by quite a bit. So I have number 2, Kevin Jones. I think he has the potential to win 3 tournaments this year. That's going to be a ton. I don't know if it would happen, but seeing him show up, it's like none other. When he wins, he really wins, and it's not even close. He has the potential to destroy in the first 2 or 3 rounds and then kind of choke in the final round. But I think this is the year where he is going to absolutely break out and show everyone who's boss. Obviously, he won the Pro Tour last year, so he's not really breaking out, but I see him with just the biggest potential out of any player in the world. So I think this is the year where he just shows up, stops getting 30th place in some tournaments where he really should be getting like top 5. I think that time is done. He's going to be top 2 most tournaments. I don't see him not being like a major player in every single tournament that he's in. So definitely, I would say top 4 at least, but I'm putting him as number 2. And then number 1, it's gotta be him, Calvin Heimberg. Not even really questioning it. I think this is like a lock. If I had to guess that any of these players would be one particular position in the tour, I'm putting Calvin number 1. No doubt, he's consistent. He's powerful. His putting is really good. He doesn't get tilted. He plays a ton. And he just has the stroke and finesse of a pro tier player. I see MacBeth and Ricky on the bottom of the list, who you might argue have more experience, more control. But I don't see it that way. I think Calvin, you just watch him and you see how he's going to hit in circle 1 most holes. And I can't always say that with other players. Like, he might not get the 100-foot birdies. He might not get those crazy shots, but he's so consistent that he's just not going to mess up. So I think he's really going to destroy, and I would love to see him win. Maybe not as many as Kevin, but he's going to play consistently like he did last year. And I would say like 80 to 90% chance that he's ranked number 1 in the Pro Tour. That's my list. If you have any other different thoughts, I'm sure you do. Post them in the comments and tell me why you think my list is ridiculous and you have totally different thoughts. All right, this is Wild Runs signing out. Peace.